Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Critical Mass. We're here to do some good movie reviews, sequel reviews, and we're missing Mark.
Oh, what a surprise. Mark
What a
doesn't show up.
surprise.
So, why don't we just start, and I'll text him and try to find out where he is.
All right.
Okay.
Are you going to start?
We'll introduce what we're talking about, and then we'll get going.
All right. So we challenge each other to do the worst sequels ever and the best sequels ever. And these had to be movies that were in Hollywood. They can't be made for TV movie spin-offs. They can't, direct to DVD. So it had to go directly to theaters. And we all chose our favorite movies of all. However, I have no idea what Mark chose because Mark's not here. You chose.
I chose Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
And I chose Star Trek, Wrath of Khan. And Mark chose... Mark's not here, man. Any answer?
Not yet. I'll just start, and if he texts us. Okay.
All right.
So, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Like, Lord of the Rings, the original movie came out, and as a fantasy, it revolutionized cinema at the time, I think, because it allowed adults to enjoy fantasy again. And fantasy was just the realm for little... Oh, wait a second. Okay, Mark's at your house. Let's continue there.
This is why we have problems with Mark.
Yeah, Mark's not too bright. Okay, we'll see you back at Don's house. We're gonna start over?
No, just go.
No, just keep talking.
Just start talking about it.
Okay, so I really like Lord of the Rings.
How much do you like Lord of the Rings, Paul?
Okay, listen, the first Lord of the Rings movie was really, really good. But I found in the first Lord of the Rings movie, it took a long time to get going. And then it was kind of a lot of traveling. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of good things that happened in it. But The Two Towers, which was the second movie, had a lot happening in it and a lot of epic things. First, you're introduced to the Ents and Treebeard. So this is, okay, it's not just, a couple of people, dwarf, elf. No. Now we have giant living trees. And later on we see how they're going to play a part in the story. But they were epic, and when Merry and Pippin encounter them, it's a lot of good comic relief. Okay, then you have the Warg battle. You remember all the big dogs there? Okay, that was really exciting. Merry and Pippin escape from the orcs because the orcs turn on each other and battle each other and kill each other. That was pretty awesome.
Right. Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
No, it was.
We still haven't gotten to the best part of the movie.
It was a good movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie, and I'll even give you that it was probably better than the first
Fellowship of the Ring.
Right, but and this is just me. These movies dragged for me so much.
Yeah, because you're an uncultured swine. Anyway, Gollum versus Smeagol. So Gollum has his multiple personality psychosis. Right. That was really interesting. You had Wormtongue and Theoden. He had the king under his control.
See, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie because the bad guy's name was Wormtongue. Because it's not like Johnny Come Lately. It's not Happy Go Lucky. It's Wormtongue.
Like when your mother, when your mother names you Wormtongue, you've got two choices.
Well, you're going to be a liar. You're just going to be a liar. Where else have you got to go? So I love that about the movie. I laugh my head off when he says Wormtongue, and I go, ah.
Then we have another exciting part in the movie where the Ents attack Saruman's tower. And to destroy the tower, they break open the dam. Really nice visual effects. Mm-hmm. You have Gandalf returning, where he was killed by the Balrog in the most epic scene in the first movie.
He's such a nerd.
Okay? And so Gandalf the White returns. And, okay, epic. The Battle of Helm's Deep. Not only was it, massive and really intense and exciting and great visuals, but that's when you started having the rivalry between Legolas and Gimli. That's when you have Gandalf returning with the reinforcements, and that's when you have Aragorn. He actually becomes the king he's meant to be because he says, okay, ride out with me. And they fling open the doors and they ride out into almost certain peril to save the day, and you can't get more exciting than that movie.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Out of the three movies, I actually preferred the Two Towers out of all three of them.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
did
I'll
like
give you
that. The epic Battle for Helm's Deep is, to this day, one of the most classic battle, right up there with probably Braveheart, as far as battle scenes are concerned.
Except in Braveheart, in the background, you can see the actors just like.
Yeah, well, in the Battle of Helm's Deep, when they ride out with the horses and they're going along the ledge, it's all CGI guys just falling over like this. It's the same CGI orc falling over after every horse is going. It is that. That was the one thing I didn't like, but when he comes down and the light shines from his staff going into the charging, the riders of Rohan showing up saying, "Your king needs you, let's ride." That were epic.
There were all like that big long list. So many epic things happening.
It was a great movie. It was no Independence Day 2.
No, that's true. It's true.
But it was a great movie.
Thank God. It wasn't in that. All right, Mark, you're up again. Okay. What is your favorite sequel?
Okay, so I have a sequel that is the epitome of better than the original movie. Okay, and it is Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so of course with the original Star Wars, you have the introduction to your characters, but with the Empire Strikes Back, you really delve deep into the character development, and you see a lot of new things that we haven't seen before. Number one, you see a new planet. Okay, you get the AT-ATs. You've got Luke Skywalker actually learning to use his skills, and you've got his development into becoming a Jedi. You've got what was it? I forget the name of the beast that they cut open to stay warm. What was that again?
Tauntaun?
The Tauntaun. So yeah, all of these things are just jaw-dropping moments in Empire Strikes Back.
That's the first time you see Yoda.
First time, yeah, the introduction to Yoda. You see the whole training montage with Luke Skywalker.
You're still not mentioning the most epic part of that movie.
Yeah.
Well, the most epic part is the biggest twist of all time in any movie is Darth Vader.
The original twist.
The original twist. Darth Vader revealing his true.
I mean, Darth Vader means father in German. I mean.
Well, I'll say that.
I didn't want spoilers. Okay, spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the 40-year-old movie,
you haven't seen Star Wars. Vader is Luke's father. And you have that little incestual sort of relationship with Leia come to an end. And,
Well, great. I wasn't fond of the whole Cloud City thing. Like it was okay. I just didn't think it was as epic as the things that happened in
for
New
its
Hope.
time. For its time, those are great visual effects.
Yeah.
oh, I'm nothing ever can. But story-wise, myself, a lot of people always go, that one is the quintessential Star Wars movie. That was when it became a story. I still like the original for the introduction of the characters and what they did with everything.
I think that you like the original because this movie sort of set it on another level. If the first Star Wars was made and there were no sequels after, no one would ever talk about it today. The first Star Wars would have been like, yeah, it was a great movie, but that would have been the end of it. It's because of the two following movies, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, that people like, okay, that trilogy, that whole storyline is what people remember.
And I think in Empire Strikes Back, the epic lightsaber battles really made Star Wars what it is.
Absolutely.
But if when people ask me, and that is from my era, remember I was a teenager when these came out, the original Star Wars is still my favorite of the three.
But
Doesn't mean it wasn't a bad movie or a good, but it's still a great sequel. I still prefer the first
you
movie.
have to remember though that the first time you saw Star Wars, you said, "Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this."
Yes.
But now that you've seen something like that, Empire Strikes Back still built on that, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
still amazing.
it's a great epic story. No problems with that. I'm just saying,
And it
Yeah.
actually expanded the universe. Like this Empire Strikes Back expand even more so than like the prequels that came out. Like it expanded the universe to somewhere where you
the
wanted to
prequels tried to destroy the Star Wars universe. But well, put it this way: I remember going to the original Star Wars movie 50 to 60 times. We would go and the opening film at 1 o'clock, and we would come home at 10 o'clock at night because you were allowed to stay in the theaters back then. I didn't do that for Return of the Jedi or the
Empire Strikes
Back. I didn't do it for those movies. But that's so I'm a little biased because it was such a groundbreaking film to us at the time.
But you probably still watch the original movie 3 to 4 times a year.
I did. And you know what? I don't watch Empire Strikes Back.
All right, what do you
But
got
that's
for
the
us?
thing. All right, what kind of movie will I bring up? Well, I'm going to bring up another science fiction franchise. I'm going to bring up Star Trek and Star Trek II Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
And if you ever saw the first Star Trek movie, it was a very long drama with all talking. There was one visual effect really in the whole movie, and that's when the Klingons get attacked by this thing at the beginning of the movie, and that was it.
To be fair, Star Trek is not known for their movies.
Yeah, but they're known for interesting stories and plotline and character development, and this one had none. In Wrath of Khan, here we go. We're introduced with a character that we loved from the original series. It had that emotional moment at the end where Spock sacrifices his life, and him and Kirk are on the other side of the glass, and that's when we get the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, right?
Yep.
Those were some epic moments, and it also set up one of the first movies ever to set up a sequel ahead of time by launching Spock's body to the planet after it had just been hit
Right.
to be resurrected, to be transformed. So we already knew Spock's going to come back, but that was one of the first movies ever to lean into a sequel at the end of their film. We see it all the time nowadays with Marvel. Marvel was not the first ones to invent it. Star Trek.
And what was the epic quote of that movie? What was the epic quote of that movie?
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Khan saying his name.
Oh, Khan! It's not Khan, it's Kirk saying the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Khan!
Why would you say your own name?
Khan! That doesn't make sense. And they tried to redo it in the new movies that have come out, and it's just not. It was such an impactful movie back then. And there's the space fight between the two ships, where they actually explain why they can't track each other because of where they're in. They don't just let it happen. They explain why, and it's very tense. They're looking at the viewing screen, and all of a sudden, there's a ship, and they have to avoid it. And they're searching for each other like submarines would be without radar.
Right.
And they explain why Khan is tricked. Khan's a genius. He's a superhuman. But he's not a battle expert. He's not a war person. He's never fought in a spaceship. And he's thinking two-dimensional. Turn left, turn right. So they trick him by going up and down. They think 3D. Which, like, story-wise, the intensity of that scene and the epic emotion with Khan at the end of the movie with Kirk, I'm sorry, there's nothing... that was one of those epic moments that movie lived on forever, and it blew the original the original Star Trek away. It blew the writings and write-ups on the first movie that came out. Everyone went, well,
Right.
and then that movie came out, and everyone said, where's the next movie?
All right.
So we had a science fiction, we had a fantasy, and we had a science fantasy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Those tend to be the best sequels.
Yeah.
Look at Independence Day 2. Whew. Look at Independence Day 2.
So what do you think?
What are your favorite sequels out there? There's a lot. Maybe people like Jumanji 2
Ah,
No.
better.
No.
Maybe people like Bad Boys 2 better.
No.
Fast and the Furious 2
No.
better.
They don't.
Maybe.
No.
Some people might.
No.
Because what you like is subject to your own tastes. And no one can ever take that away from you. Some people like some kind of movies, some people like other kind of movies, and it's okay. You don't have to like every movie out there.
oh, that's a nice warm sentiment.
Isn't that fuzzy feelings?
Oh, that's good.
Fuzzy feelings we have here on the channel. It's true. When people say
Don's menstruating
you
right now."
like that movie, you're nuts. Well, no, that person's allowed to like that movie. I mean, I'm sure somewhere somebody liked Birds of Prey.
Is he just gonna ramble now?
This is the best part of the channel. Well, tell us what you guys think. What is your favorite sequel, or what sequel do you like? It doesn't have to be your favorite. Let us know in the comments down below. Let us know which one of our three you think was the best sequel out of all of those. And until next time, why not check out some more content down here below. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.